Still, the verdict will have little impact on Dolan's bottom line. The team itself is worth $543 million. Despite a horrific record, they sold out 17 of their last 20 games last season, even though top ticket prices exceeded $3,000 apiece. The team and Garden are owned by Cablevision. It is a $10 billion corporation.
It hurt the Knicks and it hurt the NBA.
Hillary Pocowitz covers sports business for Cranes, and she says the trial battered the Knicks' image, especially with women.
Suddenly, we've gotten, opened a little window inside the Garden, and it turns out that it's an organization that is pretty hostile towards women. It's hostile towards everyone's wife, mother, sister, daughter, and that's not a great image to be associated with.
Yeah, that part is still unclear. Will the corporate sponsors and the season ticket holders still want to be associated with this particular company? Everybody agrees on one thing. Isaiah Thomas and the Knicks have to win a whole lot of basketball games this year. Reporting live from the Garden, Jim Dolan, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Jim, thank you. Knicks players open training camp for this season today in South Carolina. Besides basketball drills, they spend a lot of time defending their head coach.
We're behind him fully, but at the same time, we come here for training camp and working out hard, and we look forward to the season.
Anytime you have to deal with something like this is tough, but, like I said, moving forward is the most important thing.
And during the trial, Stephon Marbury testified that he had sex with a Madison Square Garden intern who worked for Anuga Brown Sanders. And coming up on Eyewitness News at 6, Scott Clark has more reaction from Knicks players, and you can also read Thomas's statement in its entirety at 7online.com. Diana?
In other news, 2 people from Brooklyn dead after a car accident in upstate New York. The crash happened along Route 17 near Goshen in Orange County. Newscopter 7 was over the scene shortly after the 2-car collision. The victims have been identified as Chaim and Freddie Moskovitz. Their 4-month-old baby survived the crash and is being treated at a hospital in Hackensack. Police say the accident may have been caused after one driver lost control and veered across 2 lanes into oncoming traffic.
Speed is the apparent cause of a deadly accident on Long Island, according to police. The driver was on Old Country Road in Hicksville when he suddenly lost control of his vehicle. The car smashed through 2 utility poles before crashing into a building at Halsey Avenue. Emergency workers had to cut the driver out of the crushed vehicle. The unidentified driver was pronounced dead at a local hospital.
And a 24-year-old man is dead after he was shot during a game of dice outside a Harlem apartment complex. It happened this morning on West 131st Street. Authorities say the man, identified as Cadell Robinson, was playing dice when the suspect opened fire and shot him in the head and the chest. Robinson was pronounced dead at the scene. Tonight, police are looking for the suspect, who is described as a man in his 20s. A frightening night for a woman in Brooklyn when 3 men broke into her apartment and duct taped her. The men pushed their way into the woman's apartment on 19th Street in the Prospect Park South section. They put duct tape on her while they searched her apartment, but they left without taking anything. Police are still searching for the suspects. The woman was shaken up, but she was not hurt.
After increasing rates by 11% just 3 short months ago, Con Edison is defending its plan for another rate hike. The company wants to implement a 17% increase, and critics say that's just too much. Eyewitness News reporter Jeff Rawson in Astoria, Queens, with more. Jeff?
And Shadi, I think a lot of people are looking at that graphic you just showed on the screen. 17%, it would be a big hike. The Public Service Commission has to approve it first, but we need to tell you who it affects. And that is just about every single person in New York City. Freddie, zoom the camera out. Every single person you see here in Astoria, wherever you are in the city and you pay a Con Ed bill, that would affect you too. 17% increase for residential prices. Excuse me, sir. It would affect him too. But it's also going to hurt businesses like this pizza place. They're going to get hit as well. Doris is just trying to get by, raising a family at a high price. Now this Whopper from Con Edison.
I cannot afford a penny more. We're working hard, we're struggling, we're trying to pay our expenses as is, and they want a 17% increase. Terrible, horrible. They're not considering the people.
Under the Con Ed proposal, Doris and all residential customers would see a 17% increase next year.
That's awful. That's awful. I didn't even know about it, actually.
Well, that's why we're here.
Thank you.
It's a pretty huge hike. It's a big hike.
They're less than pleased here in Astoria, Queens. The 9-day blackout in July 2006 left the neighbors here in a scorching